Nice.
Car seat headrest is for nerds. For all that Will Toledo is mocked for, that would be praised were it any other sexually frustrated and timid singer-songwriter. He has actually been very good at getting across the confusion and frustrations of growing up. Sorry that he didn't like Isle of Dogs, I guess. What was I even saying? I don't know, it makes sense that my thoughts are a little fragmented on this album, as Toledo's lyrics tend to be a whole bunch of seemingly random thoughts that all add up to an overall message. One of insecurity, depression, and frustration, mostly with himself. Oh, and his lo-fi rock music is always melodically pleasing and strong. His voice is highly expressive even through a billion layers of compression. In recent years following his team up with Matador Records, his music has become cleaner, and while some may prefer his lo-fi efforts, with albums like Nervous Young Man still being extremely good, Car Seat Headrest has actually been doing some amazing things now, especially since, well, musically we can actually tell what's going on. In 2010, Twin Fantasy was released and has since become an indie cult classic for its tackling of LGBT love themes and teenage confusion, but the thing is that a lot of its raw, fuzzy, lo-fi audio quality makes all of that difficult to even digest. I get the whole thing about being raw and honest, and in some cases, like on the track Nervous Young Inhumans, I hear how that enhances the timidness of the song, but it's not for me. Think about the changes in Toledo's life that'll have been made since then though. I don't know if any other albums in his discography other than Twin Fantasy will be remade with clearer quality, but there has to be some reason he chose this one specifically. Maybe it's just because it's the big celebrated favourite, although I feel like maybe it's just a big reminder of where he was in that place and time. With quick and quirky tales of coming out to his friends over Skype and stammering drunks that gush over his live performances at gigs, Toledo has some intriguing ways of summing up teenage life. They might be silly, they might be dumb, they might be heartwarming, they might be a bit sad, but they're all part of that lively part of teenage life. On Teens of Denial, one of my favourite songs was one where he compared growing up and being tossed into the overwhelming and pressuring adult world to steering a ship with no instructions and feeling absolutely hopeless when it begins to sink. But truthfully, honestly, absolutely seriously, I have been listening to this remake of Twin Fantasy almost every day. It's an addiction, and there has to be merit held in something that I keep coming back to again and again. The more I listen to it, the more details I take note of and love, like the way that the track Sober to Death switches between acoustic and electric guitars every bar.
Don't worry, you and me won't be alone no more.
Or all the faint yelling and rambling hidden in the background when the song reaches its rumbling loud moments of absolute racket on Beach Life and Death. Or how about those changes to the dialogue at the end of Nervous Young Inhumans? Then we have the immense but never dull Beach Life and Death that features a devastating couplet. As well as one of the most cathartic screams Will has put to record.
I don't want to go insane!
To the whirring guitars that kick off bodies in the coolest way, to the dorky romance and adorable boosts of confidence that sum up flirtations and love lives for the socially awkward on Cute Thing, which also features a guitar solo that I absolutely live for. To the anthemic electropop flavours on Nervous Young Inhumans that make it a track that'd comfortably classify as a pop song. Gosh, there's just so much to this Twin Fantasy remake that makes it absolutely impossible for me to quit listening, which is funny considering it's one track called Stop Smoking. Every moment is unwasted, and I would absolutely love to do everything I can to unpack all the lyrics, but I feel like what this album impacts me with more is its ability to make every little anecdote sound like the biggest deal ever. There may be split opinions about which version is better, but while the original version encapsulates the timidness and the nervous discoveries of Will Toledo so well, I love how this new version takes all the emotionally potent hooks and anthemic choruses and makes them even greater on a larger scale. Well, maybe not post-rock levels of gigantic, but certainly sounding like it has a boost of confidence, which may just be an unusual take on an album constantly flooded with worry over unrequited love and self-deprecation. Toledo has a lot of self-awareness, but sometimes this level of self-awareness can prevent us from achieving the things we wish the most because we become so hesitant. I find it interesting not only that these lyrics are indicative of an insecure time for Toledo, but also that he concludes the album by reminding us that this is just a song, these are only lyrics now. Has he moved on? Well, I hope he has, because he's certainly getting dogpiled on now. 8 out of 10.